What type of player will benefit from a fast 14 millimeter paddle? In my opinion, it's best suited for a strong intermediate or advanced player. Hey, what's up guys? Woody Wicks here with Simply Pickleball. Today we're going to take a first look at Diadem's brand new 14 millimeter Speed Pro. Is this the fastest pickleball paddle to hit the market? Might be. Let's take a look and find out. Here we go. The grand unveiling. Let's unwrap it, see what the fuss is all about. Full disclosure though, I've already played with it and it's pretty fast and it's pretty awesome. So two things to check out before you stomp on the bubble wrap and throw it in the trash. Number one, most paddles have a weight range or approximate weight. The Speed Pro is listed at 8 ounces, but these guys also weigh each paddle and they write the exact weight on the outside of the packaging. So as you can see, this one clocks in at 7.76 ounces, which is a little on the lighter side of their range, but I'm fine with that since I'll be adding lead tape anyway. Number two, there's a QR code that you can use to register the paddle for a 6-month warranty. All right, so let's pull this thing out and take a look and see what we got. The Diadem Speed Pro retails for $239.95. You can save 10% by using the discount code Simply10, bringing the cost to roughly $216. It's not the cheapest 14 millimeter paddle on the market, but it's a reasonable price for a high quality, high performance paddle. But hey, the fastest way to get better at pickleball is to keep throwing money at new paddles, right? So, what type of player will benefit from a fast 14 millimeter paddle? In my opinion, it's best suited for a strong intermediate or advanced player. I switched to a 14 millimeter paddle about 6 months ago, and without question, it elevated my game. I got much more control up at the net, and it felt like my hand speed got twice as fast. So if you're an advanced player that's never tried a 14 millimeter paddle, this would be a good choice. I would advise against this being someone's first paddle or for any beginners. The Speed Pro has similar specs to the Diadem Power Pro. It's 16.4 inches in length, 7.5 inches wide, and the average weight is 8 ounces. The grip circumference is 4.25 inches, and the molded in handle is 5.7 inches in length. This is one of the most comfortable paddle grips I've experienced, and at 5.7 inches, there's plenty of room for two-handed backhands. The first thing you notice when you pick up the Speed Pro is that it feels pretty light. I played with it before I tested the Swingweight, so I was curious to see where it would come in at. The Swingweight is a measurement that gives you an idea of how heavy a paddle feels to swing through the air versus how much it actually weighs or its static weight. A lighter paddle is typically under 110 and a heavier paddle is over 120. For example, most 16 millimeter thermoform paddles measure over 120. It was not surprising to see the Speed Pro come in at 115. That falls right in the middle of the swing weight spectrum for all paddles and is just slightly lighter than other comparable 14 millimeter paddles like the Speed Up Fire and the Carbon 1X. And the last thing I tested was the Twistweight, which measures the forgiveness of the paddle. If you know the length, width, weight, and thickness, you should have a pretty good idea of where the Twistweight will land. Twistweights are typically between 5 and 6 for elongated paddles and 6.5 to 7.5 for hybrid shaped paddles. The Twistweight for the Speed Pro came in around 5.93, 5.94. So no surprises there, as this is a standard Twistweight for a 14 millimeter elongated paddle. However, in gameplay, it felt like it had a larger than normal sweet spot. I'll give credit to Diadem for building a well-crafted and well-balanced paddle. I'm still going to add about a half an ounce of lead tape to the sides, which will increase the twist weight and swing weight. The first thing I noticed when hitting the Speed Pro was that it felt pretty hollow, and the sound off the face was a bit louder than what I'm used to. However, after a few minutes of dinking, I barely noticed it. In fact, almost immediately this thing felt like a glove. Dinking felt really good. I was able to flight the ball down without much effort, which is what you should expect in a 14 millimeter paddle. The lighter weight and reduced thickness will help to naturally close the paddle face a little quicker than what you'll find with a 16 millimeter paddle. Next up was the spin. All of the Diadem 18K edge paddles have woven carbon fiber. There are 3 layers woven together to make a unique and awesome looking design. It looks almost like an optical illusion from an MC Escher drawing, if you remember those. The idea is that the carbon fiber layers produce more spin and apply consistent spin regardless of what direction you're hitting the ball off the paddle. My first impression is that the Speed Pro has a lot of spin. I haven't tested the RPMs yet, but it feels like it should land in the top 30% of all paddles. I was able to easily get top spin, back spin, side spin on all my dinks and other shots. I found that paddles with high spin, even including the 6.0 Ruby, the Kevlar paddle, is that the grit can wear down pretty quickly and lose spin after playing for just a few weeks. The Speed Pro feels very durable, and my guess is the spin will hold up after a lot of hours of play. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this paddle review. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. That way you won't miss any future videos. Also, do you have a favorite paddle that you'd like me to review? Maybe a Spartus, Vatic, Selkirk, more Spartus, Speed Up, more Diadems, bread and butter, whatever it is. Drop me a comment, put it below. I'll take a look, I'll review it. Thanks. The toughest thing I found when switching to a 14 millimeter paddle was playing from the transition zone. As it is, the transition zone is the hardest spot to play in pickleball. And as your opponents hit the ball harder and faster, it becomes exponentially harder. Since 14 millimeter paddles don't absorb the impact of the ball as well as 16 millimeter paddles, you have to put in some extra work to learn how to control the pop. You want a paddle that produces consistent results when hitting these precise and delicate shots. Although I have work to do on my game in the transition zone, the Speed Pro felt good and the shots were consistent off the face. The Speed Pro has a ton of pop, but not so much pop that you can't control your drops and your resets. If you do get the Speed Pro, or any 14 millimeter paddle for that matter, plan on spending extra time drilling in the transition zone. Diadem is promoting the Speed Pro as first and foremost a power and pop paddle, followed by touch and then spin. So far, I've only tested the stock Speed Pro without any overgrip or lead tape. And out of the box, this thing is a beast. The best way to test a paddle is to play a few games under pressure. No question, it has plenty of power and a ton of pop. In a few games against intermediate players that I played, I hit a few serves that couldn't even be returned. Baseline drives and overhead slams felt powerful and controlled. My favorite thing about the Speed Pro was the control and touch right around the net. You can hit low, quick spinning dinks into tight spots. The strength of my game is understanding my opponent's weaknesses, which means I have to hit precise shots to someone's backhand right down the middle or a speed up at someone's shoulder. I was easily able to hit my spots in the first few sessions without any adjustments to the paddle. Finally, this thing is fast, very fast. I played a bit with some advanced players and had no problem keeping up. If you want to add quickness to your speed ups, flicks, backhand rolls, etc., this is the paddle for you. If you hit short, quick punch shots, the ball jumps off the face with plenty of spin. If you're thinking about adding a 14 millimeter paddle to your arsenal, the Speed Up Pro is definitely a good place to start. For anyone who's still watching, I'll give you a special bonus. I'll walk you through how I set up my paddle. I start with the grip and I estimate how much overgrip I'm going to need. Now, you want to be able to fit either a finger or a pen or a pencil between the end of your fingers and the palm of your hand. And for me, it's typically 2 layers of overgrip. For some paddles, I can get away with 1, but for the Speed Pro, it definitely looks like it's going to be 2 layers. Boom. We got the grip tape. We got 2 layers on here. And you can see if I stick my finger in there, it fits perfectly. Feels really good, even over that grip that they designed so well. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add grip tape, and this takes about 2 seconds. Get 1/2 inch grip tape or lead tape on Amazon, and I have this thing measured right here on each side, and it's very simple. You just stick it right in the middle of the paddle, so you can see. I'm putting it there, starting at the throat and just going up the side a little bit. And then we'll put it on the other side here. And voila, you got tape and or overgrip and lead tape. And that took about 10 minutes of time off camera to set all that up. So pretty simple. Now I'll go and I'll check the twist weight and I'll check the swing weight. I'll play with it. My guess is it's going to get this paddle to about 8.6, 8.7 ounces or so. And like I said in the beginning, this thing felt great, just the stock weight and the stock setup. So if it's too much weight, I might scale it back a little bit. But there it is. That's how you set up the Diadem Speed Pro. The results are in for the final test of the static weight, swing weight, and twist weight with our added overgrip and our lead tape. So the static weight, which we started out at 7.76, is now 8.9 ounces. The swing weight is 122, which is pretty similar to a carbon fiber 16 millimeter paddle. And the twist weight is now an 8, which makes it pretty much one of the largest sweet spots you're going to find on any stock paddle. This is pretty similar to how I set up all my paddles. It's going to have pretty much those numbers once it's all ready to go. Thank you very much. I appreciate you tuning in for this paddle review. Again, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Follow us. Any questions or comments, put it in the comment section.